She walked out that door and destroyed our marriage. But that was just the beginning. Jack's life had become comfortably predictable. At 52, he had a steady job as a carpenter, a quiet suburban home, and what he thought was a stable marriage. But on a crisp autumn evening, that illusion shattered. The doorbell rang unexpectedly, jolting Jack from his usual evening routine of watching the nightly news. As he peered through the peephole, his heart sank. It was Susan, his ex-wife. Her face, once familiar and comforting, now filled him with dread. Jack hesitated before opening the door, leaving the safety chain in place. "What do you want, Susan?" he asked tersely. "I need to talk," she replied. Her voice trembled slightly, but Jack felt no sympathy. "Didn't the way I left make it clear that I have nothing left to say to you?" "You never even told me why you left," Susan shot back. "I came home to an empty house. No explanation, just your closet cleaned out." Jack sighed heavily. "You really don't know." He took the safety chain, stepped aside, and let her in. Might as well get this over with. As Susan settled on the couch, Jack's mind drifted back to the night it all fell apart. He'd come home from work to find Susan dressed in a little black dress, her makeup flawless, her hair done to perfection. "What's the occasion?" Jack had asked, puzzled. "I have a date," Susan said matter-of-factly. "With who?" Jack demanded. "A colleague from work. Don't worry, it's just for Linda's party. Since you hate her parties, I figure I'd go with someone else." Jack's blood boiled. "You know I don't go to Linda's parties because of the drugs and the crowd she keeps. And now you're telling me you're dressing up for another man?" "Susan, if you walk out that door, you're walking out on our marriage." "Don't be ridiculous, Jack," she scoffed. "This won't hurt us at all." And with that, she left. Jack couldn't sleep that night. He knew the kind of parties Linda hosted where the booze flowed freely and inhibitions vanished. But nothing could have prepared him for what happened next. At 1 a.m., Jack's phone rang. On the other end was Linda, clearly intoxicated. "Hey, Jack," she slurred. "Just thought you'd like to know Susan finally found herself a real man." Then Jack heard sounds he wished he could unhear. Susan's voice, unmistakably intimate, echoing in the background. Jack hung up, packed his essentials, and left. By morning, he'd cleared their joint bank accounts, quit his job, and set off to start anew. He changed his phone number, bought a prepaid cell, and left no trail behind. 2 years passed. Jack built a quiet life in a small coastal town, working for a local contractor and enjoying the peace he'd craved. Occasionally, he dated, but nothing serious. Life was simple, and he liked it that way. Then Susan showed up. "How did you find me?" Jack asked, incredulous. "A private investigator," Susan admitted. "I sold the house to pay for it." "You've wasted your time," Jack said flatly. "We're done." You knew what walking out that night meant. "You don't understand," Susan pleaded. "I didn't cheat on you willingly. I was drugged. Linda and her friends set me up. I sued them and won. I spent the last 2 years trying to make things right." Jack's face hardened. "It's not just about what happened that night. It's about your disregard for me and our marriage. You made your choice when you walked out that door." Susan's tears flowed freely, but Jack remained unmoved. His new partner, Maggie, came home just then, radiant and full of life. She greeted Susan politely before turning to Jack. "What's for dinner, babe?" Jack smiled. "Let's go out. I made reservations." As Maggie went to change, Susan made one last attempt. "I'm not giving up, Jack. I'll move here if I have to. I'm going to win you back." Jack shook his head. "You're wasting your time. I've moved on, and so should you." Susan left defeated as Maggie returned. "Is she gone for good?" Maggie asked. "She should be," Jack replied. "I made it clear I want nothing to do with her." Maggie kissed him lightly. "Good. I don't plan on letting you slip away." Jack smiled, finally at peace. "Let's go. Dinner awaits."